folks, and welcome back to the channel. And I do thank you all for watching, and thank you as always to all my subscribers. And now that all the fiberglass and epoxy work is finished up here forward of this bulkhead right here, now I need to move aft. And as you saw in that last video, I sort of accidentally already started that compartment right over there when I spilled that resin. I had to hurry up and go ahead and work that. And as you can see right there, I had to come over here on this side of that stringer and go ahead and put the thickened epoxy down in that corner also. But I've got to do the same thing back here now that I did up here. I've got to interconnect all these compartments for drainage, just like I did up here. Now I've got to drill holes at the bottoms of all the stringers, and at the ribs down the center, and at the keel beam. And I've got to insert those little plastic tubes like I did up here. And the reason for that is because I changed my plans just a little bit. I originally had planned to lay in flotation foam here in this bottom compartment, and below the floors, of course. But I changed plans when I saw how much that stuff weighed. I've got about 35, maybe 40 cubic feet of area right here below the floors once the floors are in. And even the lightest of the flotation foams, it's like 2 pounds per cubic foot. And so, do the math. If I've got 35, 40 cubic feet right here, that's another 70 to 80 pounds of weight that's being added to this boat that I don't want. And so what I'm going to have to do, I still have to allow for drainage, in case water ever does find its way in there. And water has a funny way of getting into places no matter how well you seal things up. And so like I just said, I've got to allow for drainage, and we've got to give that water a drain path. So that's what I'm going to be doing here for the next couple of days or so. Is I'm going to be drilling and interconnecting these compartments and installing those little drain tubes. And then after that, I've got to do like I did up here, just put in the thickened epoxy and leveling compound where it's needed. And we'll do it one bay at a time, and then get this bay done, and then move back. And there is a bay there underneath all this. It's funny how this turns into a catch-all. And man, it doesn't take any time either. But yeah, like I said, we'll just do it one bay at a time. Work this bay, then work this bay, then work this bay until we get to the aft end. All right, folks, that's all I have for right now. I'm not going to be able to get out here and do much today. The winds are out of the south. They're blowing about 35 miles an hour. And if I was to open up that garage door right there, it would, oh gosh, it'd probably puff up like a balloon in here. And so we're just going to leave the door closed, and we'll wait till the winds die down, and we'll get out here and start getting this done. All right, folks, we'll catch you in the next segment. Okay, folks, I'm back. You heard me say it earlier. Plans do change sometimes, and do you remember that drain tube that I bonded in? That's long before I attached the panels to the bottom of the boat there. That's when it was bare structure. Watch what happens next. Like I said, plans change. Stay tuned. Okay, folks, I'm back, and I previously mentioned that I have decided not to use flotation foam back here. And since I decided not to pour in the flotation foam, I no longer need this drain tube right here. And the reason I installed that drain tube in the first place was because I was not going to use flotation foam up here forward of this bulkhead. I was just going to leave this open, and so I figured, well, I still needed a way to drain this area in case water ever got in there. So I laid that tube in and just connected it back at the stern. But now that I've decided to leave all of this open right here, I really, I need, like I said in that previous segment, I need a drain path for the water. So, I've already got the tube installed, and I've already got this tube run through all of these ribs here down by the keel beam. So all I really need to do is just cut this tube out right here, and just cut it, and of course, I'll already have my drain tubes bonded in here, and then all I'll need to do is just do the same thing on the other side, and we'll get to that later. But for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and take my little vibrating buzz saw thing right there, and I'm going to go ahead and start cutting that drain tube out. And of course then that will provide the drain path that I need for these compartments right here. And I've already got the drain hole at the stern, so same thing like over there on the other side. Just need to interconnect all of this. All right, folks, I'll be right back. I'm going to get the camera set up here, and we're going to make that first cut. I'm really curious to see how that's going to work. Actually seemed to work quite good. Now I put these metal pieces in here. I went last night and bought these little tie plates from Home Depot, and that's just to keep the saw blade from chewing right through that plywood. And so yeah, that works. All right, I'll be back. Alrighty, so had to use a little bit of English to get up underneath that gusset there, but I got as much of that tube out of there as I'm going to get. I'm not going to try to cut it any shorter. I should be able to work the thickened epoxy around that. And so what I was talking about earlier was I need to interconnect all those compartments since I'm not using the flotation foam in here. And what I'm going to have to do on this side, though, is I'm going to have to go through the rib here at the center down by the keel beam, and I'm going to have to drill drain holes down the center all the way back to the stern, because I do have the drain holes already cut, and so all I have to do is just get all the compartments connected. And this tube can come out here also. I don't need it anymore, but that kind of simplifies things a little bit, even though initially it'll be a little bit more work to interconnect all these compartments, but it really does just kind of make things simpler. And like I said, it keeps the weight down, that flotation foam, even though it's a relatively lightweight foam, but still, I mean, it's going to be 70, 80 pounds of extra weight, and I just don't want that extra weight in the boat. Right, folks, I'll just keep on working on that, and I'll be back. Okay, folks, I got that done. I got that drain tube out. Like I said, I don't need that in there. Change of plans. All I had to do was just cut it up and take it out in sections. And then, of course, there was these little stubby pieces that were left down here in the corner, in this lower corner right here at the intersection of the keel beam and the ribs, and those pieces just knocked out. That's one thing about the epoxy resin. It doesn't bond to the plastic, but that's okay, because that'll just give me a chance to get in to these corners and lay in that thickened epoxy like I need to, and just do it all right. We want to make sure we do all that stuff right. I don't have to take any shortcuts or do any workarounds for that. I do want to make sure that the keel beam and ribs and everything are properly bonded, and then also that gives them the opportunity to go back inside these holes and just make sure to coat them real good with resin. Now I will put some little pieces of plastic tubing back in those holes. They won't be that long. They'll probably be about 3/4 of an inch in length. And what I'll have to do is I'll have to drill probably a little small hole in these and just let the thickened epoxy creep down into that hole and just serve as a dowel pin, and that will help hold those in place and keep them from vibrating out. And so there's an easy fix for that. Alright, folks, that's all I'm going to do for today. I am done. I will get back out here and get after this again tomorrow. Alright, we'll see you then. And tomorrow actually ended up being several days, as my wife and I decided to just take a long weekend and fly out to Florida. We have family out in Port Orange, Florida. Our son and his wife and 3 of our grandkids live in Port Orange, and so we just decided to go ahead and take a 4-day weekend and flew out there and spent some time with them. And I will just say we had a good time. And I think I've said it before on this channel, you just cannot have a bad time in Florida. And that is true. We had a really great time out there, and just had a lot of fun with our grandkids. So with that said, now it's time to get back to work, and just got more holes to drill and more pieces of drain tube to install. All right, I need to get on it. Alright, so these last 3 compartments, they have those stiffeners bonded to the bottom of the stringer right there, and as you may recall, that's where the boat sits on the trailer bunks. That's going to be a little bit more of a challenge. I'm probably just going to have to go ahead and put the hole a little further forward than I would like, but I'm not going to try to catch that edge right there. I think we are just asking for trouble if I try to split that with that Forstner bit. I think it's just best to go ahead and just move forward a little bit and just get it as close to this back edge as I can, but I still want to drill a solid hole right there. I don't want to try to split that edge right there. So alright, let's just get back after it once again. Alright, so I got all the sawdust vacuumed out of that corner right there. That's that one I just drilled. Talking about that stiffener right there and how I didn't want to catch that edge, so I had to move that hole just a little bit further forward. That's fine. I'll just have to do a little bit of extra epoxy work right here in this corner, and probably what I'll do is bring the nose of the boat up and then lay in some leveling compound right here so we don't have a place where water stands. Like I said, folks, I've said this many times, there is a way to fix it. Alright, I'm going to keep on drilling. Okay, so these last 2 compartments right here, once again, they present a little bit of a special challenge. As you may recall, when I assembled the structure, I installed these 2 braces right here, and of course that has to do with the mounting location of the outboard. That is to help transmit the force produced by the outboard to the rest of the structure. But now that I am interconnecting all these compartments right here, I need a drain hole down here. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to step up my Forstner bit by 1 size, and that's a 5/8 Forstner bit. I've been drilling these to 3/8. Let's see. Yeah, I've been drilling all of these right here to 3/8. I'm going to have to drill a 5/8 hole in these last 2 compartments in the corners, and that's because I'm going to have to use a drill extension to go through the stringer right here, and I'm going to have to I'm going to have to set it up like that, go through the hole that I'm going to drill down here, so I can drill the hole in this brace with this Forstner bit. And that's because that 90-degree adapter right there, even with that 90-degree adapter, I just won't have enough room to get down in there and drill this last hole right here. So let me get set up for that. I need to get that hole drilled, and just need to get it done. Just a little bit more work, but you know what they say, perfection takes time. Alright, I'll be right back. Well, alright, change of plans again. This, and this is the end of that 5/8 Forstner bit, this does not fit in this, and I just now noticed that. Alright, change of plans again. Let's see what we can figure out. Okay, so I'm just going to rock on with that 3/8 Forstner. I do have some long drill bits that I could use to drill that corner right there. Like I say, let's just see what we can figure out here. so there might be just enough room to get that set up in between the keel beam and this brace right here. We're going to give it a try. Alright folks, camera battery dropped off right in the middle of that hole, but I did get it done. Did have a little bit of splintering right there, but we'll just fix that with some epoxy resin. Throw a little bit of thickened epoxy on that. And while the battery was charging, I went on ahead and took care of these aft compartments right here. Got the holes drilled through the brace back here in the back and through the stringer. And while I was back here, I went on ahead and got a head start over here and took care of these holes over here on the left side through the brace. And so that completes all the drilling for this side, except for all these holes that I got drilled down the middle, down by the keel beam. And for those, I am going to use that 5/8 Forstner bit. I'm going to put a little bit larger drain hole down the center there. But that's it for this video, folks. The run time is getting just a little bit long now, and by the time I get this edited and uploaded, I don't know, it's going to be anywhere from about 15, 16, 18 minutes. And so we're going to call that a wrap. In the next video, we'll just pick up right where we left off in this one. And yeah, I know it's a little bit repetitious. It just seems like I'm just doing a lot of drilling and drilling and drilling. But that's just the nature of the kind of work that I'm doing right now, and it is what it is. Okay, folks, I thank you all for watching. Again, I thank all my subscribers. God bless each and every one of you. And as I always say, in all things, to God be the glory, in the glorious name of Jesus Christ.